3:04.
You didn't bring a copy of the agenda again, did you? No,
Yep, right here.
that's your agenda.
Nope, I have it here. I brought a couple of them.
It's 3:04 and I'll call the meeting to order once we have a quorum. And I'm not gonna read the script because I understand I don't have to do that anymore. Thank you. But I do have to take attendance, so please say here. Abby,
Here.
Rocky is not here. Robert
Here.
is not here. Arlene is not here. Lisa.
Here.
Linda.
Here.
Mary Ann here. Thank you. The first thing on the agenda is approval of minutes of the last 3 meetings, which we haven't received. So I'm gonna make a suggestion. I will complete the minutes of the last 3 meetings. And I will take today's minutes off of the recording, if that works for you, Jericho.
All the recordings, you can get all the back recordings too, if you don't.
Yes, that's what I mean, the last 3 minutes.
Don't we have staff? Jericho, isn't one of the girls supposed to do it?
No.
We're supposed to do it?
No, it's been done by, who's doing it?
Well, Arlene has been our secretary, but she hasn't submitted the minutes, so I don't know where they stand.
And she didn't want to
not
do
making
them.
a
She said,
I know
no.
she's
Today.
tapping out.
Yeah,
but,
she's tapping out on that one.
I mean, I can talk with Lexi about doing minutes for this, but it hasn't been done up until now, so I haven't talked to.
I don't want to get in violation of the open meeting law, like so many other boards are getting in trouble with their minutes now.
Well, that's why I'm saying, I'm
Yeah.
volunteering to do, over the next month, I'll finish the minutes of today's meeting as well as the last 3 meetings, just so.
Then let's keep today's meeting really short.
Yeah.
Okay, fine with me.
So there's not much
That
to
makes
write about.
sense. Here, it's done. So, Arlene is relinquishing her duties as secretary, and so it's on us to, elect a new secretary, which one today. So, let's start with seeing if there are any volunteers before we,
I'm sorry, have we established one?
yes,
I'm
hello, Jericho.
Are you with us, Jericho?
I am
That's the first
apparently
time I
now.
said it.
Sorry.
Well, we should approve the agenda.
Yes, we have to approve the
I'll make a
agenda.
motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
second it.
Okay.
All
let's
those in
go down
favor?
the list. Abby,
Aye.
Robert.
You don't have to do that if we're all in the room. We can just say aye.
Uh,
As long as you-
Oh, good.
said aye. Maybe someday I'll get this. So is anybody interested in being secretary of this?
I am
I've
not.
done it for 40 years.
Hands at the table.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to nominations, or can we count on somebody from staff taking minutes? Is that an option?
It's an option, but it's somebody who also already has 2 existing minutes boards that meet pretty, like CRC, et cetera, so I don't, like, it should be reasonably timely, but
Well,
it doesn't, like, I think you probably could, yeah, if, I can check with that, but
Well, here's the other suggestion. I think we came up with last meeting, we talked about it. Is that we have enough people. And as long as we get current, thanks to your efforts, there's no reason why we can't rotate it.
okay, that means you have to show up for when it's your turn in rotation.
Yeah, but I think that's a better, because like I'm new, I don't really wanna take on something like that, but like, sure, I do it, like if we all are sharing it, I think that's.
Mhm.
What does the secretary do?
Just take.
It takes a minute.
The minutes.
Just the
Minutes of
minutes?
meeting, submit them to Laura for posting, on the town website.
there's usually like a minutes template, it can be,
Yeah.
For non-regulatory boards, you basically are just keeping track of who makes the motion. what
Who's
the-
here.
What the votes are, the attendance, and then the gist of, a discussion. Because also, all of these are recorded too, so if there's specific information, a timestamp and when a conversation occurs is also okay.
It's not verbatim.
Yeah.
Town council is very clear about that. Who's here, who's not here,
It's an overview.
overview, what was the discussion, and any motions and votes taken have to be documented. That's it.
The idea being that if any citizen wanted to look and see what decisions were made by.
Yeah,
any
reasonably
board,
It seems like a nice idea that we all get experience with that too, as opposed to
Yeah,
like.
I
nominate
would.
Someone like that would really stress me out to. be
I'd like to,
But I'd like
opportunity
to
to try
you know
it
what I mean,
once.
If I know how to do it. you
Yeah,
know?
once.
So, I'm
See
good.
how it goes.
Take that motion?
I'll make that motion that we rotate it.
I'll say.
Okay, so we will take a vote. where if you say yes, you're voting to rotate the responsibility.
Yes.
Okay.
All those
Abby,
in favor?
Aye.
You don't have to roll call
You
it.
just, we just call.
No, because we're all in the room.
So
There's
as
one
long as
person
it's
up there.
unanimous,
Yeah,
So
if there's
if
somebody up
it's-
there, we have to do it.
Oh.
And you can also, if everybody's in favor, you can also say, is there anybody opposed?
Mm-mm.
Might be easier.
actually-
You have to make a positive.
Oh, you do? Okay,
You can't say opposed.
To make a positive motion, someone has to second it.
We did.
yeah.
Right, So,
All-
all
then
those
all
in
those-
favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
I don't mind doing it for the January one, and I can actually, at that point, I'll set up
Okay, I'm
a
ready.
template for everybody else.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And I can set up a template for everybody else to
Okay.
follow.
Okay. The next agenda item is something that, I think we may have to skip over, but I'm gonna bring it up. It's something called a 10 taxpayer group. And I was approached by Bob Eisenstein, who is the contractor who runs our island home. If he is off island, he owns a company that runs nursing homes, several of them, including our island home here on Nantucket. And he asked me if I would form a 10 taxpayer group, which is something I don't really understand. There's some legalese online about what it is. Jericho, I'm gonna need either advice from you or send me to somebody like a town council. It's a group of 10 people who basically hold the town government's feet to the fire on the building of a facility. And, or moving forward on some project, I would have to
It's
say.
usually an adversarial situation.
No, they
Well, it
currently
doesn't
have,
have to be.
well, they currently
Yeah,
have
usually it
a
is.
few lawsuits against the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's, I wouldn't do it here.
I'd like to get some advice from somebody. I don't even think anyone who's on this board could legally do it. We are the town. So we can't really hold the town's feet to the fire on building the new island home.
As individual
Because we are the
taxpayers, we
town.
could, but not
But
as
not as
members of
your-
this
Not a
board.
mem- But I don't know if you are a member of the board or on any town board, does that make?
That doesn't
you-
preclude you signing on to a 10 taxpayer, as long as you're a taxpayer.
But there are
But
issues of
there are
conflict of interest. if you are-
Conflicts, apparent conflicts, even if they're not actual conflicts.
When you're actively involved in a lawsuit against the town, that is a conflict of interest.
If it's specific to the island home, I can't get involved because I'm the closest to butter.
There's
I
not
met with
just-
a guy yesterday.
She's in a butter,
Yeah, so there's
Oh,
a,
cause you're in a butter.
the appearance of bias or the.
unless they do it on the other.
Doesn't matter, I'm the closest to the rear part of it.
Before I say yes to Bob Eisenstein, because I do want to, I mean, I'm in favor of building a new island home. I want to do everything I personally can to help them. But I don't know if I should get involved in this.
I wouldn't, I think on a political basis, if he wants to go form some group of 10, let him go with God out there. Because politically, I think it's gonna be a nightmare, because what they're asking for is probably 60 million. Having met with him yesterday, for an hour, for an hour and a half yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm meeting with these guys individually because I'm so close to it, and we forced the town into that situation. The town meeting, I think, is gonna rebel. We might not get the funding for it at all. So I worry about holding the town's feet to the fire on the island home any more than they're being held to the fire at the moment because of the situation with the existing island home. I think that's gonna be an adversarial position
You're
in this
talking about the
point.
location though, not the cost.
The cost and the location, because right now we're all absorbing. Tonight they're talking about the tax rate, but we're all absorbing between
we're
the
paying.
housing 6.5 a year and 60 coming up here and whatever else they've got capital programs from last year and this year. I think taxpayers are gonna rebel, frankly, at just simply the sheer cost of it. Doesn't matter what we think is a practically good
Right,
idea.
Right.
And I always thought when I was on the board at the Chevron Commons that it needed to be there. But I think the price tag has gotten out of control. And I think people are gonna balk at having to impact their taxes that way.
Well, I expect that. I guess, do you?
And we're
think
already
we
getting.
could-
I will
so many
investigate
things being
this
put
with-
out,
It's like,
like,
who I should
we
talk
did
to.
everything.
We already got so much stuff going
So I
on.
think the first thing is, I think that, I'm gonna report back to him Marine Homeland Compliance Officer, and then
Okay, perfect.
anytime that there's like a potential legal issue, I'm gonna reach out to the admin and then see if it requires
Okay,
any like legal or compliance elements that we're not aware of. I'll do that most likely tomorrow, but I'll report back to you with an email and then we can revisit it on the next meeting possibly.
and Bob was only approaching me as a person, not as a person who's on the council. on aging. Okay, thank you for all that input, that helps. Next on the agenda is a report from Joe O'Neilly.
Yes, so, let's see, what I've been up to lately. Lately, it has been grant season still. I'm working through the grant applications for the contract review committee. Past that, we've done, I'm doing some work on, we did the last round of respiratory disease. We did a couple of clinics past month. Then, what else have we done? It's been a lot of internal work around some food security programs. I've been in discussion with some tick-borne illness messaging and communication for the fall. And then we've been working on a couple of wellness programs, one run through an organization called MASK for the school teachers. There's a like breathing, breath work, meditation, et cetera program that MASK was doing for island teachers. And then it's been sort of a lot of end of year budgeting stuff. This is the sort of slow and sort of busy period of the year where we're doing a lot of like process changes. And then, you know, internal administrative work, which is not super relevant to the Council on Aging. And then, that's about it for right now.
Well, I wrote this just as, it seems like the public health nurse is providing some new services that benefit seniors. So.
This is the Visiting Nurses Association. This is under a contract with us. So a lot of the stuff that they've been doing, we have a contract with the Visiting Nurses Association to do a ton of home health services, to do a lot of GAP services, to do some childhood and maternal health programs. Those have been going for years. This is some additional services that were added as a result of an expansion of that contract this past fall, like this fiscal year. Was an increased, an increased amount. So yeah, that's done through a subcontractor of ours. It's not done by Aaron directly.
Okay. But it seems that it benefits seniors. I'll just
Where
pass
did
it around
where
for
did this
anybody
come
who's-
from?
There should be paper in that, like, I think there should be some at the Saltmore Senior Center. I think they're handing it out as well.
And what is that thing?
This is the Visiting Nurses Association. We have a contract with them to deliver public health nursing services.
Yeah, we've met, they came in here
Yeah,
one time.
Kelsey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kelsey Ray came
Yeah.
in. So some of their stuff is outside, like the public health nursing contract covers certain specific tasks that have a general public health benefit. So things like senior clinics, we actually, like, the flu clinic at, the Island Expo was paid for through that program. And then we have some maternal and childhood health programs, and I think they're expanding. I think they added some staff so they could do, additional med management for certain individuals. So yeah, that's, it's ongoing. They're always coming up with new programming. Like they're assisting with a grief and loss work group. They have a perinatal health group. They're also doing a ton of like early childhood care, to kind of cover the gaps around the lack of pediatric on the island, or the limited amount of pediatricians.
well, they used to have that guy come over because all my kids had the little folder with a little picture. They would whatever. Yeah, well, it was before prior patch, but it was because Erin had it and she's 46. But they came over until they were 5 years old, I think, until they went to school, and they would come over twice a year, I think, and check their ears, do the weight and do all that stuff. Because when they all graduated out of that program, it was a state thing or something. Or
Yeah,
that
I-
health came over, because you probably did it.
I'm pretty sure that was one of, like, the year and I day was through that program.
It was
But
great.
I know that.
Do we not
program-
have that anymore?
That program's been gone for like 15 years.
Well, my oldest is now 28, that's like my youngest is today.
I think what has replaced it is Briar Patch, and then, Mass Health subsidized, pediatrician.
It was great, because if you don't have you can't get a regular doctor right now. If you don't have a regular doctor, you go twice a year. And they take the little picture, because I still have the pictures, mortification to my children.
Mhm.
And their records and all their shots and everything in those folders that they give you when the kids got to be 5 years old and started going to school and had to have a doctor at that point. So it was a great program, and I think it should really start up again, because not everybody has a pediatrician here.
The scope on that is so far out of what we can do. That was a state program to my knowledge. I believe most of that state funding has moved to Mass, like to support Mass Health and the existing healthcare thing. I do not know what the process to reorientate that is. I am almost certain that those were state employees coming over on a regular basis to do that, or a contractor.
It was a contractor, it was a doctor that came over.
I could not tell you I could not tell you what that system was, but I do know that it does not exist. And we've looked for additional resources like that, and what they want to do now is the state would take money and give a contract to someone who's already here. Not really, like that would be like talk to your state legislator.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to Joanne, because they just don't have anywhere to go.
So, because they can come to your house if you're not able to leave your house, help you with your medication, check on your, any health issues, so that's why.
That would be a good idea.
It's good to,
Have Meals on Wheels bring those brochures when they deliver, so people that might be tough on that might not see that somewhere. Like, where would you see that if you don't go to the senior center, if you don't go somewhere?
I know that anyone who has elder services is referred to the Visiting Nurses Association as part of their
Yeah.
service coverage. So I know Sherry makes recommendations.
If nothing else, for our end of the table.
We definitely can help Sherry by including that.
I mean, just to make sure people know that they have that option, especially if people on a really fixed budget. It's amazing. It's like dark at 4 o'clock and, you know someone could come and you're confused about something. I mean, I think that's amazing. So I just want to make sure that people that aren't out and about, who could probably use that the most.
I think the Meals on Wheels people, Sherry who knows who those guys are, and I think she reaches out to them,
Right, and you can
because
always,
they're housebound. folks.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
well, I know that like I don't know the specifics of like the capacity specifics I'm not super familiar with. I know that like they have the Visiting Nurses Association has a set budget for our public health. And then I know that they also do additional services outside of the public health. So I have to check, there's a fine line between us, supporting a program that we fund and then because there's the Visiting Nurses Association is can charge for certain things, is not necessarily, has a couple of different ways of getting reimbursement. And I know that in the past, there's been issues around us advertising or supporting a for-profit agency or
I see what you're saying.
in-profit
Yeah.
entity one.
Yeah.
It is something I can check with. We already do internal referrals out to them for people who hit certain qualifications. So I can absolutely look at it expanding. I just can't, I don't want to say yes because.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jericho? Before I move on to Laura?
We know where to find them.
Yeah.
Right over there.
And thank you for the heat. Laura, you're the next person on our agenda.
Hi, does anybody have any questions? You have my report in front of you. Any questions from anybody?
Yesterday, Laura, at the Elder Services Board meeting, Doug from Cape Cod 5, who does the fraud thing, was there.
Yeah, okay.
He's planning on coming back in January or February. Was it well received?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the salt marsh, there were probably 6 or 7 people.
Mm-hmm. I guess
Yeah.
it's good toys too.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. If he wants to come back, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, well, I talked to
Okay.
him and said I'd accompany him and bring him over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I don't even know if I have time. But anyway, hopefully he'll give me an email and we can work something out.
Anybody else have questions or comments for Laura on her report or anything else? Thank you, Laura.
All righty.
Thank you for everything at the Salt Marsh too.
Oh, my pleasure.
go in there regularly. I see how busy it is, so.
I
you're
keep,
much
I keep sending
appreciated.
people over there. So do you know about the salt marsh? Do you know about the exercise classes, the concrete lunch, all this other stuff? And I'm going, you need to go sign up.
It's a very busy place.
And I've
And
got
I
a,
think we need to get younger seniors there. Like I just turned 60 and it's like, I didn't know I could go to the Salt Marsh. Do you know what I mean? There's like so many good things happening there. I think people are like, well, I'm not, I don't, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And there's like a lot going on and it's just like community. It's just nice,
Yeah, the monthly
So I've been telling my
calendar,
friends like,
something.
yeah.
what you do is when you sign up, you do get the newsletter, and the newsletter goes out to over 500 people.
This matters.
And all the baby boomers are your age and beyond now, because you're the youngest baby boomer. And everybody's beyond that. Actually, you may be just past baby boomer. You're not quite qualified.
64, I'm not sure which I am. I have to look it up.
This might be a good chance to mention this because it's not actually the Salt Marsh that's putting it on, but NCEA, the Nantucket Center for Elder Affairs, who own the building, the Salt Marsh building, and are the actual Friends of Nantucket Seniors. They are putting on a Christmas party at the Nantucket Hotel, December 18. Tickets are $25 for full dinner. And
6 o'clock.
I suggested to them that even if you're not a senior, if you're on this board, the invitation is extended to you. They'd love you to be there. It's a chance to mingle with seniors. You can bring a date or a friend, a kid, whatever, whoever you want to bring, you can bring with you. And I asked Laura if after this meeting, she would send out the invitation so that you see, it's December 18, what time, and you call a phone number and you just leave your name and phone number and how many people, and they'll call you back and ask you if you want chicken or fish for dinner.
That you have to RSVP, otherwise it's not open at the door. You have to RSVP.
You have to RSVP.
Yeah, I posted on the Wisconsin Gazette, the Nantucket Get Around Community on my own page, so I'm posting it everywhere, and I'll post it again next
Oh.
week.
Good.
Because Arlene sent me the poster, so I posted it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, watch out for the first one she sent.
I
you.
know,
had
and I
the
just
wrong-
redid the second
Okay,
one.
good. Anyway, Laura will send it out. If you have any inclination, it's gonna be fabulous because they do a great job. The food is always delicious there, and this can be a big crowd, so.
It's a nice
and you can
thing.
bring somebody with you, so if, that makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, please come. Robert Kucharvi, you're up next to talk about, your observations and, then elder services.
Okay, on the road, we got, starting next week, we have seniors from 4 out of the 5 locations we travel to, coming to the museum for tours of the trees right up through Christmas. Over the last week before Thanksgiving, we had 4 of the senior centers come for tours of the wreaths. It's a new thing we tried, inviting them to come in for a tour, and they loved it. And they've signed up now to come
So they
for,
just come over for a few hours and.
they come over for about an hour, yeah, and it's all arranged. The island home people, Olivia coordinates with their vans and stuff, and yeah, they loved it. And then January, we kick off the regular monthly programs monthly. January is decorative arts. February is going to be kind of a guessing game of old Nantucket pictures. Where was it taken and when was it taken?
Oh, I got you there.
March is going to be again, Jason Finger is going to do Distinguished Women of Nantucket. April will again be the boys from the Athenaeum. And May will be on needlework, tying into the major exhibit for next year, which is on textiles. And Elizabeth Gilbert is slated to do that. So that's what on the road is. Overseas, we are getting the calendar ready for the spring. We have commitments from 3 senior centers right now, and I'm talking to 3 more, and we have the capacity to add 8 senior centers in the spring. I've been given the go-ahead to expand to the regular ones we've been to, as well as add new ones. And I understand there are 15 senior centers on the Cape. And we're only right now talking to 9 of them. So in fall, we will spring, and we're writing a new program for the fall program because they've seen Life Aboard a Whale Ship and they've seen the Essex. So we're thinking the new program for those that have had both of those will be on the impact of whaling, of the impact of Quakerism on whaling. And that gets you in very different
Yeah.
type things and how the Quakers traveled to North Carolina and to Hudson and all those places and the role of
Hawaii.
women.
I know why, big contingent out. in
So that's what's going on overseas. At Elder Services, I sat next to the nutrition director, who did nothing but rave about our Meal on Wheels program. He said it's the best of all of the senior centers on the Cape and Islands.
I served lunch there today and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, he just raved about how well run it is and how
Yeah.
good the food is and everything else.
Well, John
We're
takes
at-
great, John Keane, Kitty's does it.
Yeah.
John Keane takes great pride in the food that they serve. It's just expensive. It's just very expensive.
At the Salt Marsh. I was volunteering there last year. And then I just haven't gotten back into the swing of it yet, but it's fun.
Just go occasionally.
Yeah.
Only $4.
Is Caroline
Caroline.
Ferguson
Yeah,
still
Caroline's there.
over there?
The May, Spring for a Meal, we have 3 restaurants signed up on Nantucket. We have Town, Kitty's, and, Sea Grill.
Right.
What is that?
That is where there's gonna be a little card on a table with a QR code that you can you can donate a meal for
To
Meals
Sea
on Wheels.
Nice.
And
Sounds
it
very
was
nice.
very successful even the first year and nobody really understood what it was. The
Yeah,
first
we're
year.
gonna have posters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll put that all over the place.
Then the big problem is legislation. Federal and state, there are number of bills going through, they want to cut services to seniors. And Elder Services, Marianne Ryan is putting together a whole thing about what this legislation is, as well as templates that people could sign and send to their legislators, both federal and state, encouraging them not to, get caught in this whole thing and to let these bills go through to approve the services, at least the ones we have right now.
Well, it's probably
So-
gonna be a wasteland for the next 4 years when they start monkeying with
Yeah.
social security and
So I
Medicaid.
talked to Mary Ann about what she thought about the idea of COAs sending, members of COAs sending letters, and she thought it was a great idea.
Yeah,
So once I get the packet with the templates and stuff, I will send them to you.
Okay.
To Laura, okay,
yeah.
Or-
and, individuals can also, you could actually double it. Yeah, ask your friends to do it.
I'll post it up on my website.
Yeah.
again.
So they are forming a whole kit of stuff, because it was state before, and now the federal government, there's evidently some changes coming to elder affairs.
You think?
We know,
Yeah, we know.
Oh, dear.
so
It's gonna
that
be
was the
tough.
big topic yesterday
Yeah.
at the meeting.
And this is just in anticipation of the new administration, or was this expected?
No, they're on the books already, and what we want to do is push these things
Wanna kill 'em.
along. And make sure the state and the federal government are aware of what could happen if these cuts happen.
It's ludicrous because the largest group of aging population
Mm-hmm.
is baby boomers. And we're all up there, a lot of us are taking care of our parents, and there's an awful lot of crossover on, as you get past 60, it's just insanity to try to monkey with any of that.
Well, I've already set myself up for constantly barraging my elected officials with my opinion, which I never did in the past.
So as soon as that stuff comes out, I'll send it to Laura,
Okay,
but they're
Yeah.
gonna have templates, so it'll be easy to just.
Yeah, we can all send letters.
I believe there has been, I'm not sure if COA has done it, but other bodies have written out like official letters of support for particular policy choices or have engaged in political advocacy for specific, specific bills and programs.
Like what other bodies?
I know that, the Council on Human Service wrote a letter of support for a, specific bill that would do behavioral health parity. Parity between behavioral health and regular health, in insurance processing for mass health. So I can investigate that, but I think we can also do it, you can set it up to a hearing.
Any letters that can get are gonna be helpful.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say.
It's good
That was a
work.
lot.
Big one. I mean,
That was a lot.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, Elder Services tuned into all, and Mary Ann and Mary McCauley, the president, are tuned in, and Mary McCauley especially, since she was the big honcho in Boston for stuff, really tuned into what's going on.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. That was great. I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to ask if there's any feedback on selling the salt marsh to the town. I know the NCEA is trying to sell it to the town, and I don't know what the town's acceptance or rejection is.
My short answer is I do not know. Anything that is a proper property, acquisition is several tiers above my pay grade.
And an executive session for the
Yeah,
most part.
like, and it's not, so I won't know until it is, most likely I won't know until it is decided. That's not a decision that I have any significant.
Well, the Council on Aging has gotten a grant for repairs to the salt marsh. So I'm not sure who's gonna make the repairs. Is it gonna be the NCEA or the town?
Well, the town would never make the repairs.
I
So it's
know,
better off if the
but they-
NCEA does it before town gets it.
The state wants the money back if we're not gonna use
Yeah.
it.
We need to
What's
just do it.
what's The term of that.
Well, June 30th, we have to spend the money by June 30th.
I-
But of course, they would like the money back well before that if we don't intend to spend it. So just put that in your,
No,
Right.
no property transfer would take place before the end of the fiscal year 24, or sorry, 25.
when does that? when's that?
Nothing. we-
July 1,
Yeah.
June
so
30th,
there
June
would-
30th.
So
So
regardless.
either NCEA does it or.
NCAA,
Or it goes back.
NCEA needs to do it.
Okay.
Because it also has to go to town meeting unless it's done by the county. There's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of issues with property transfers.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like, so whatever happens with the transfer of the property, it will not happen until after the term of that grant.
Yes,
expires.
correct. That's what you said.
Yeah.
How much is
So-
the grant for?
$8,000.
And this is for the salt,
It is
So-
specifically to widen
Yeah,
the main
access.
entrance so that wheelchairs
Oh, right.
can easily turn around to get into the main entrance.
Mhm.
And to shut off permanently that entrance that's had that funky closed
Yeah,
across.
Yeah.
it.
one on the
So
side.
They would close that off entirely and enlarge the main entrance to make it easier for wheelchairs to get.
Because they've already done the bathrooms over there and there's been other things that have been
Right.
upgraded over there.
And those.
Oh, and the painting and everything in the main.
Yeah, they did a lot of work.
Did a
but
lot of
They
work.
have $8,000 available to them for this specific
Yeah.
reason.
We need to just get it done then.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll pressure them.
Okay.
We've come to the end of our agenda. Is that short enough for you? Lynn?
That's, short and sweet.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
And have a great holiday, everybody.
Mhm.
Everybody.
Another one.
Thank you for being here, so that we have a forum.
Yeah, it's
Sure,
nice
so
to
not
meet.
much